Greetings and salutations, malefactors and fellow YouTubers. We're taking another dive into the WR400 Rebuild. Alright, so we're at day, heck, I forgot what day it is. This is a rear axle bolt. So the newer style bikes actually have like this locking mechanism in it that keeps it from backing off instead of using a cotter pin. Well, it kind of looks like the whole locking mechanism of this deal is broken, so we gotta get a new bolt, and it's also partially stripped out in the threads. So as I said, when you're working on older bikes, be prepared for a little bit of tomfoolery. I'm gonna be taking off what's left of the chain guide today, cleaning the air box, replacing the back wheel, replacing both sprockets, and then my chain guide, which down here is broken in half. I don't know if you guys get a good look at that, but that's kind of the goal for today. I've got a whole bunch more stuff on order. Looks like I'm going to be adding an axle to this. I also discovered yesterday when switching out my brake lever that this is one of those old Ake Hebo or whatever front brakes that came stock on the Yamaha. So this is getting yanked and replaced with a CR250 master cylinder, because it's this weird little adjuster doohickey here instead of like a press mechanism for the front brake. So that's getting yanked. I've heard there's these units were problematic all the way up until like the 2003 model, and it's still puking oil. So got all those gaskets on order. Well, we'll see where we go from here. Alright, so problem 2 we've encountered today is that this piston brake is so seized onto this brake pad you can't get it off without damaging the line. So if you run into this problem, crack open your bleeder, grab a flat blade screwdriver, and try and get the I know I'm making a mess. Try and get the brake pads to unhitched from the disc. Trying to wedge too much on the disc, but you are gonna have to get a little aggressive with it, and just a little bit of space will do the trick. So once you're done with that, close back up the bleeder, see if you've bought enough room, and voila, your seized up brake pads will come right up. So I'm probably gonna need to see if this is in need of a full rebuild. I know these pads are shot, and I always change pads when I take over a used bike. But also, this thing is going to need to be scraped off and oiled back up, in addition to a new bolt. But oddly enough, the threads in the axle on this used bike are actually in good shape, so I kind of lucked out in that regard. One thing I like to do, a whole dust cover. Oh, actually, that's a bit strange. One thing I like to do when I'm disassembling a rear wheel is take out all the spacers in the order which they were received and kind of put everything together on the axle so you don't lose track of where everything's at. And that way you can also keep track of what spacer goes where. Granted, these appear to be unidirectional, unlike the Africa Twin, which also in the service manual tells you the wrong order which to put them back in. Not saying anything in particular, but there's little tips and tricks for keeping track of stuff. So I'm gonna go set this on the back of the truck, get it ready for removal, and get ready to get this ninja star of a sprocket off and start trying to get this all done up. Well, it turns out I can't do the tire today if I wanted to. Previous owner decided that the rim lock was just a suggestion, not a mandatory requirement. So it looks like I'm going to get as far as I can on it and slap this thing back on before nightfall. Alright, for our next trick we're going to be getting the sprocket off. In my foolishness, I ordered the wrong bolt, so it's imperative if I want to get this working again not to damage any of these. So I'm using a relatively new hex driver, 12-inch wrench, and I'm going to try and blast a few of these with some lubrication and get it going. Alright, to expound on what I was going over yesterday, while you have your wheels off, you should always check the tightness of your spokes. You can tell which ones are loose, making kind of a dull or a buzzing noise. Ones that are tight sound like that. So you go through, that one's really loose, still really loose, and only twist them a little bit at a time, or you're going to have problems where you're either breaking the spokes or pulling the wheel out of true. It's usually quarter turn increments. Still pretty loose. Oh, we might actually have a broken spoke here. Well, I'll mark that one up later to replace it. That one's hand tight. And pretty much stop right as you get at the sound that you're looking for. And the reason you want to tighten these spokes up is if they're extraordinarily loose, they'll start breaking on you. Flip it over, do the other side. All this stupid paint on here is a real pain to deal with. Alright. Let's use a little more right here. They seem mostly to be in spec, minus that one that's damaged. So the problem with this one is it's actually seized onto here because of the stupid paint. Never paint your wheels. Never, never, never. So, yeah, that whole one's gonna have to get replaced. Luckily, it's like $2 fix. So you might wonder why I'm going to such lengths to clean this air box. Well, this bike was ran without a filter for quite a while. So all this stuff in here, all this schmutz, oil, dirt, I want to give this bike the best opportunity it can to have a nice clean start. So I'm going to pull all this scum out of here. Best thing I found for it, well, it's knockoff scrubbing bubbles, but scrubbing bubbles actually does a really good job of pulling most of this old schmutz out of here. Now here's something a little WR400 centric. So to put on your new chain guide, you've got a little bolt up in there, a little Allen head, that unless you have a long T-handle Allen head, you're not going to be able to reach. I even took the chain guide off and all I had was my socket ones, and my multi-tool didn't do the trick. I managed to get it back together, but not without great effort.